What's up, everybody? Today we have Chris and Lindsay Morin, members of WrapAcademy. Chris is a full-time appraiser. They have some properties in Oregon. They now live in Tennessee, and he has some rental properties which they now converted into wraps. And yeah, welcome, guys. Thanks for hopping on the call.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about your first wraps.
Well, funny enough, we wrapped our own personal home back in Bend, Oregon when we sold it, which was 3 years ago, way before we knew about you and your academy. I'd never heard of it. Chris, I would say he's like the brains behind all of this. I just am always along for the ride. And I'm a real estate agent. I was a broker in Oregon, an affiliate broker in Tennessee. I know traditional real estate. That's my background. Him trying to explain to me what a wrap was. In my traditional real estate mind, I'm like, what are you this does not make any sense. It's either cash or financing. That's what I'm used to. Through that process, because I had to explain everything to the other agents showing our home, it really helped me to understand what a wrap was. So long story short, we sold our house in a wrap, and it's been amazing. On a personal level, we're cash flowing a substantial amount on that house because of the price point. Fast forward 3 years, we were doing traditional flips and had one that was almost done, but we were just going to list as we normally do. And then Chris started researching the slow flip method, tried to sell this house prior to flipping it when it was just basically down to the stud. We got a ton of interest, but turned out just really flaky prospects. And so we ended up scratching that idea, flipping it, did a full renovation. And then in the meantime, we were able to acquire 2 other properties, one from a distressed situation. He needed to just get it off our hands. We scored that for like a killer $45,000. And then we actually bought another one on an online auction, which again, totally new to us. But because of that, we were able to also get that at a steal. That was like $68,000, I think. Now we have 3 properties. And Chris is like, I found this guy, this academy. It was like a blueprint, a playbook of what we needed to do. So we made the decision to join. It's worth it. Even if we just do one, I feel like it was still worth it. 3 days into being members of the academy, we closed on our first lease option, the 30-year lease options. That was a first-generation American, moved up from Florida, couldn't qualify for a loan. And he's like, is this real? Very skeptical, you know? We met with him in person, did all the things, and all good. So we closed that one and left for July, went to the West Coast to visit family and friends. We had the 2 other properties, the one we flipped and then the one we got at auction. And so remotely, we were able to close on the other 2, essentially. So 3 down in a month and a half. So we're pretty stoked. And we've got a 4th one now that we're about ready. So getting a little activity there. But yeah.
That's amazing results. Because I know when you guys started, I think your goal was 3 or 4 in a year, and it's been a month and a half.
Now, the fact that we had 3 properties already definitely helped with that. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love to hear that. And you're able to close on them virtually as well. How much cash flow are those 3 properties going to generate?
They're like, I think average of 400 a piece. We pulled out a lot of cash with the DSCR refi. So we were just at a great margin. It would be stupid to not take more cash and let cash flow right now. So that's kind of propel us into this next 12 months. Pretty good position.
Nice. That's amazing. What do you guys have planned for the next 12 months now that you have a few under the belt?
We've had some family and friend lenders on board for the flips to help us out. We've shown that we can get their money back quicker and explain this exit to them. They're all on board. We have more capital now, and it's just a matter of digesting our new position with capital and how to lay that out. I imagine it's going to accelerate, but how we get there, we got to figure that out.
I think our projection, or what we would love to have in the next 12, actually 18 months, was 7.
At least, yeah, I think so.
At least 7 more in the next 18 months, which is super realistic. And I'm hoping we crush that and double it. If we're able to do that, it'll just put us in a really awesome situation and position where not only can we use our investors' money, but also our own capital that way. So we'll just have a lot of rolling capital to work with.
Amazing. What's your all's goal with the cash flow? Why is it important to you?
Making more money while we sleep, you know?
Passive income. We invested in traditional duplexes in Oregon with conventional financing before we knew anything about, that this existed. So our goal was always to accumulate rental properties to cash flow enough to where we can really travel and be flexible. We've got 3 young kids and we're super busy. Nice. And so just the freedom of it all.
Nice. I love it. You're considering this exit strategy before. What made you guys finally decide this is the exit that you guys want to double down on?
Well, I mean, it was God. But once we got into the academy, your blueprint laid it out. You had every question answered.
Plug and play.
Full send, full commitment. It's worked. No variation, just the way you have it. So
Yeah.
perfect.
Not only obviously is cash flow great, it's in our wheelhouse of real estate. Him being an appraiser, me being an agent, we've got a lot of experience. We've built spec homes, we flipped houses, do long-term, we have a short-term rental. So we've done a lot. This method is advanced and complex for maybe your average investor. And so I think it was just a gradual, over the last decade of us learning everything, that it just felt like the natural progression.
Yeah.
I don't think day one we would have considered this, because it's over our heads. And so, this is real estate and investing. It's a practice, right? It's not like you just learn it. And I mean, it's always evolving and growing. This is where we're at now, and we're excited.
Nice. Amazing. Do you feel like it's just the educational gap that makes it complex?
I think it's understanding a concept. To some, it might seem too good to be true and we overcomplicate it. I'm going to be 43 and I'm good with being aggressive at this point, making up for lost time. We played it safe and we've done well. And, we got a good foundation of, intention, full send.
We have a background in traditional real estate, and me being a realtor, I was in this box and it was hard for me to get out of. So maybe for me, that's why it just seems more complex. But maybe, to somebody just coming in fresh, maybe with not a ton of real estate background, it would make more sense. But I think, it was just about busting through the box to open my eyes. I still list traditional real estate in Tennessee, and my wheels are turning in my head when I'm getting offers and people are giving us low balls. And it's like, well, what if we do it this way? It's interesting. We're talking to other agents. They just don't quite grasp it.
I always thought it was one of the easier transitions from wholesaling to buy and hold, because it's just supply and demand. There's a demographic that wants to buy houses and the banks won't finance them. They're willing to pay a premium in exchange for having the financing in place. This is the first thing we did after wholesaling. And then we found it and we're like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. And we had to set it up, and it's super passive once you have the family inside.
Yeah.
But it's cool telling the stories to some of our other friends and things like that are investors, but without expressing it, internalize it like, wow, you guys are really providing a service and getting people houses that need them, which is awesome. Giving is great.
Like the cherry on top, it's like this trifecta. Like, we're winning because we're getting these properties and cash flow. Our investors are winning because they're making money. And then we're able to, help provide housing for people who wouldn't be able to have ownership. That's been super cool. Giving back and philanthropy is something we're passionate about. That's been the icing on the cake.
Nice. Do you have any good stories from your buyers?
We do. The second one we did, we had a bunch of people come look at the fully renovated house. One of the gals who looked at it, Chris recognized her name. He's like, I swear I've seen this lady's name before on the mail of the house. She had mail going there. He's like, I think she used to live here. And we're like, oh, okay. So she looked at it and then she called us immediately. She's like, we're super interested. We want it. So we jump on a call with her and her boyfriend. And turns out his grandma used to own the house before we got it. And so he grew up going there and even lived there for a short time. They really wanted it because it was his grandma's house. He didn't have the full amount of the down payment up front. He's like, I have half of it now. I'm positive I'll have the other half on this date. So we were like, we'll work with you. Give us half now. We'll get you in contracts. If you don't give us the other half by this date. He couldn't believe it on the phone. He was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is real. God is real. This is incredible. We're like crying because this was your grandma's house and we're making this happen together. Long story short, they're in and super grateful, sweet family with 3 kids. And it was just a cool full circle for them because it was kind of a dump before. We made it a beautiful, basically brand new house. So pretty cool. Yeah.
That's incredible. I love collecting the buyer stories. Some of it becomes magical. We had a family move into one of our houses. The lady is from Guatemala and lived in the US for 20 years in an apartment. She wanted her grandkids to have a better house. So they all moved into this house when they brought their kids from a 2-star school district to an 8-9-star school district. And at the end, she looked at me and said, like, you're an angel. You're just like, really, it's just like one of the most beautiful things. It feels good to be able to have that ecosystem where like everyone's being served. And at the end, we get to collect passive cash flow. What would you say success looked like for you before coming into WrapAcademy? How would you have defined success?
I think it's different for everybody, right? For us, success would be being in a financial state where we don't stress about paying for anything, car payments, mortgage, kids' tuition, and just having like plenty of disposable income to do the traveling that we want. That was always our goal of success. Like, this is where we want to be. In our minds, like, we will feel successful. Working with people, having connections and helping them. For us, God is at the center of everything. Before every property we buy, we pray over it. We pray over our prospective buyers. And so, just giving all the glory to God and trusting that no matter, even like purchasing these properties, it's like, oh gosh, should we do it? It's like, yes, just the risk is not so great that he can't make it happen for us. So we just trust that. And so I think just having ultimate trust and faith that it's all going to work, and having the financial stability and the flexibility, that's like our success story, I suppose.
Nice. Amazing. I love that. Knowing what you know now, if you were to do your portfolio again, what would you think you would do differently?
If we started from zero, I think wraps would be it. It's just, I'm curious what it would be like in the markets where interest rates were lower. But right now it's perfect because there's a ton of supply, a ton of buyers, but they're not striking on the high prices. This is a way to cut that and provide. So having to do it over again in this market, I see it as the only fast moving strategy out there.
Sure. What's big favorite of the program so far?
Just about the knowledge, a lot of keen minds, critical minds. I've asked several pretty complex direct questions, and I've gotten responses from the group, the chat quickly, and it's created quicker execution and things like that other masterminds wouldn't provide, I think.
Yeah, amazing. You guys were a little bit skeptical coming in, not necessarily, definitely yes at first. What made you guys decide to finally come in?
I think that we've joined different groups in the past. I think even though the investment is big, everything we've ever done in the past, it's always provided us something to where it was like, yeah, that investment was worth it. So why would this be any different? It was the direction Chris wanted to go. I'm along for the ride. And my mentality is usually like, let's just do it. It will be fine. Trust, faith, but also not being foolish. We've thought critically about it, pros and cons. It just made sense.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if anything, that is always the investment.
But talking with you prior to signing up, you had answers and teased the process a little bit, and the execution is like, I mean, it all seemed to make sense. Like every rebuttal was answered in my own head after you laid it out verbally.
I have conversations with people thinking about joining, and it seems like, I think it's how God works in life, is there's always that chicken versus egg scenario where you have to make that investment to take the step into the unknown and step into faith. And then after you do that, you're greeted with more than you could imagine. Yeah.
100%.
Amazing. For anyone trying to achieve a similar level of success, what do you feel like they should hone in on?
You got to take risks. It sounds cliche, but you got to fail and be okay with it. Trust your mind to work out the problem in real time. That creates confidence. But really, you're going to be on your own. You got to be able to think outside the box and bouncing ideas off of conventional thinking. You're always going to get told no, or that's not smart. You got to be rogue and think you're
you get scared. And I love that book. It was John C. Maxwell, Failing Forward. I don't think anybody who's going to jump into this and truly do it will fail, but also don't be afraid to go into it because you think you're going to fail. Because even if you did, like, if you're not failing, you're not moving forward. You're not moving forward. You're going to hit roadblocks. We certainly have in our path of investing. We've had failures, but if you're not failing, you're not doing things big enough. This isn't about failure. We've had success, but people are afraid of failure. If you're not failing at some point, like, you're just not doing the big enough thing.
Yeah. If you kept showing up and investing and you learned over time, if you keep like playing the game and showing up, failures, it's not possible. It's inevitable as you learn so much, you just get to keep moving forward.
Yeah, and every failure, and that's where the true growth comes in. And we now we're not going to do it that way. We just have progressed, all the way, even through those tougher times.
You guys have been one of my favorite success stories. You came in and there's like a little bit of hesitation and skepticism, which I think is great. You came in, it's like, we sold our house within a week. I was like, oh, amazing. That's great. I remember your goal was 3 or 4 for the first year, and I heard we're doing 2 or 3 more. I was like, amazing. I love to hear that.
That's a great model.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm grateful for you guys coming to the group because you bring value with your background in appraising. You can give that to the students as well when they have questions. I know other students said they've talked to you and asked you questions from an appraisal perspective. And that's another thing I love about just doing things in community, because it creates that mastermind, and it also creates just faster speed of learning.
Appraiser is such a discreet and clandestine profession. It's hard to really ever know an appraiser friend or anything like that. So it kind of validates me to be able to give back in the group. So that's cool for worth's sake.
Do you have one piece of hard tactical advice to anyone who's listening that may be looking for a leg up?
Do it scared. We've been scared on every deal we've done. If you're excited but scared, that's the sweet spot when you need to act.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Not when you're being reckless and have fear. Those are scary times, but
like acting on that emotion. Also say, like, maybe more tactical would be like, just do the right next step. Like, if you're just starting or whatever, just go to the next local investor meetup. Start making connections with contractors, agents. Like, just do the right thing and just keep doing that, like, all the way. And you're going to hit roadblocks. Don't look at it so big. I mean, do keep that as your like umbrella, but gotta be more micro about the steps.
First find a deal, then understand how to underwrite it.
Yeah.
The paperwork.
Yeah.
Nice. Amazing. Cool. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I really love seeing your success and I'm excited to see it continue.
We do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We're excited.
And I love how much you appreciate the model and come at it from a place of service as well, because I see the same thing you guys see. Of this is that we are able to build a business on the foundation of just wins all around. And that is a pretty special thing that it took me a long time to find that in business.
Sure.
As we were kind of building our website for our, business, I, asked ChatGPT, it was like, give us a slogan, for this is kind of what we want to convey. And it came up with turning properties into possibilities. I was like, I love that. Like, that's what we're doing. These properties are creating possibilities for other people to, get on that path to homeownership. That's our little slogan.
Nice. Thank you guys for trusting in us and bringing great energy. If people want to find you, how can they get a hold of you? Where are you buying houses? If people have houses in your area, where can they find you?
Yeah, mainly we're in like the Knoxville, Tennessee area, kind of an hour, radius around there. That's where we're focusing on. I do think eventually we'll want to spread our wings a little and maybe go outside of that. And then, so yeah, that's our market. I mean, I would say even Oregon too, if anybody knows of anything, but I don't know if there's anything that makes sense out there. It's expensive. But yeah, you can find us. You can always call, text us, email us. Our business name is Prestige Worldwide Real Estate, LLC. So, if you're any Step Brothers fans out there, that's where we got our name from. We have a website, prestigeworldwide.com. All our contact information is there.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.